Hi, welcome back to Joanne and Teddies. I'm Joanne. They call me Gigi on the other side of the veil. Today's Teddy is Miss Michigan, and she was sent to me years ago from a friend that lived in Michigan, so that's how she got her name, and she represents the state I'm from, Maine, because we have black bears. So isn't she gorgeous? And she's all ready for winter. I don't like winter. Mm-mm. But she loves that. She absolutely loves it. I think because she gets to sleep. Bears hibernate all winter. So, on our last video, I mentioned that we would talk about the way that the angels communicate with each and every one of us. And our angels are always trying to be in communication with us in all different types of ways in our life. And it all depends on whether we're aware of how they communicate. So, my guides told me I'm like an angel interpreter. And people come and sit with me and talk to me, and we'll get to that point someday where I'll talk about that. But I actually channel their guides and information to them as they come and sit and talk to me. And angels communicate with each and every one of you every single day. I promise you that. Regardless whether you believe in them or not, they do. All right? And they're going to be there for you, whether you believe in them or not. So don't worry. You've got one. You've got a guardian angel, your angel. That is your angel from the second you are born, until the day that you return to the spirit world. And that is your own angel. That never leaves you 24/7. Mine has been there many times for me. And long before I even started to do this type of work or was aware of the ascension or the awakening, I was made aware that there was something very special on the other side of that veil that could reach out and grab us if the need be. And I was actually driving home late from work one night. It was like early spring, maybe April, and there were still little patches of black ice here and there on the roads. And as I was about maybe a mile from my house, all of a sudden my car hit that black ice and it went into a full spin. And I tried to retract it back and get it straightened out, but centrifugal force was taking over. And I looked and saw I was headed for a telephone pole with a light on it. And I knew I couldn't straighten the car up, so I raised my arm up, covered my face, so if the glass broke, it wouldn't hit me. And something said, "Don't uncover your eyes." And I'll never forget it. And I didn't. And as I sat there with my eyes covered, I felt the car raise up, float, and move to the left, and be sat down, and never touched a thing. I was in awe. I sat there and just was in awe. Started my car, turned it around, and went the mile and got home. That was my first physical experience of knowing that the angels are actually there, that they're actually with you, and they work with you every single day. My experiences from that point on have blossomed. Now they're angels, spirits. They're always talking to me. They're everywhere. They interrupt my phone calls, everything. But I love them dearly. And they're lots of fun. When you get to know your angels and your guides, your whole life changes. Because they're fun. And mine have a sense of humor. They have to be. They couldn't have put up with me for this many years. So, but I want to go over some of the different ways, and I did today write them down, because I get going and they get going, and then I get all off key of what I'm doing, and the next thing I know, geez, did I put that in the video? And but it's about having fun. You know what? This is about having fun. It's not about being the best. It's not about being perfect. It's about doing what my angels have asked me to do. They've asked me to help others. I'm a light worker. A different kind of light worker, but I'm a light worker. And it's about helping you to see the light. That's all a light worker is. Helping you. They've learned. They've gone through it. They've been there, done that. And now it's their turn to help you. Okay? It's kind of like parents. We all teach in our own way, don't we? We all raise our children. And yet, some children grow up and decide to do this. Some children grow up and decide to do that. Is it the parents' fault? No. No. Not at all. Because there comes a time in your life when you make your own choices. And you can have 5 kids. They don't all turn out exactly the same, but they're raised by the same 2 parents. So how could it possibly be all the parents' fault? But yet we're blamed for everything, aren't we? That's all right. Mine's turning out pretty good, so I'm pretty happy. But she's had her rough times. I've got 2 granddaughters. They've had their rough times. But that's okay. It's a part of their path. That's all it is. And they're learning what they've come here to learn from that path. And all I'm here for if they fall. If they get to the point, but you have to wait to be asked. Don't be there trying to pick them up before they ask. That's one of the things the angels want you to understand. The angels are there to help them on their path. If your child gets to the point where they can't take it emotionally, or they can't take it this way or that, then they'll come to you and they'll ask. Or you can put it out there that I don't want to interrupt you in what you're doing, but if you need my help, I'm here. Don't hesitate under any circumstances to ask. And that's all you do. Walk away. Even though you want to give all this great advice, walk away. All right? That's part of what the angels are trying to teach all of us with all our lives. They've got a job they're doing. They've got things going on for you. And while you're doing all this stuff, trying to make this and make that happen, make this happen, make that happen, and going down all these different paths, they're going, oh. I have a famous saying, because I do work with this with other people. I teach people. They come to my house. We sit here. We go over things. And the famous saying is, stay out of the angel's kitchen. And the way that I describe that is because, let's say you've played a birthday party for your friend, and then your friend, let's say your friend's going to turn the big 5-0. That's always a big one for people. And you get all these plans made, okay? And 2 days before their birthday, they go, oh my goodness, my husband's surprising me. He's taking to Hawaii. And you're going, oh my God. And you want to be happy for him. But on the other hand, you know the other side of the story. That's kind of how your angels feel. They're going, oh, if you just would wait. We've got so much ready for her. So then you have what I call the fallen angels, and they start making things go wrong. And then when things go wrong, you start thinking, geez, I got to change things around a little bit here. And this is when people come to me. And that's when I'll say to them, but I know how kind of it works a little bit, the synchronicity of things. You see, so I'll say, okay, so what led up to this? And then we'll work it through, and we'll see this little kind of pattern starting to, oh, okay, so do you think maybe if you had done this, done that, things would be different? Well, yeah, probably. I don't know why I made this choice. None of us do. But this is how we learn. So they're not mistakes. Once you've learned from something, it's not a mistake. It becomes then a lesson. And that's all we're here for. To learn different things, have different lessons. But if you're not learning from them, then it keeps coming back at you and coming back at you and coming back at you until you do learn. And that's why things repeat and repeat. How many times do you date the same kind of person and wonder? And yet, all the time you're hearing this message out throughout life. Because Dr. Phil has that saying, and how's that working for you? Well, that's kind of what your angels are saying. We're going to give it to you and give it to you and give it to you until you think, this ain't really working for me. So Dr. Phil's hinting to you. There's a message right there. If something isn't stopping or working for you, look at what you're doing. Can you change it? Can you try a different way? That's one way they work with us. Okay? Now, another way they work is numbers. Do you have those repetitive numbers? That go on? Oh, God, 78, 78. Every time I got 78, 78. And people don't think anything of those numbers, except that it's coincidence. But that's angel communication. Angels work with numbers all the time. Now, people think about it when they say 333 or 1111 or 1212, 111. Then they think about it because that's pretty, people are pretty used to that being advertised on different shows and different angel shows, TV shows, wherever they've seen it. But what you don't realize is it can be any number, okay? And it can be as simple as, what's happened to me, it can be as simple as you're sitting there and all of a sudden there's a phone call and you're thinking, who is this? I had no idea who this is calling me. Then you think, well, I'm just going to let the answer machine take it. And there's nothing. There's no machine, no message left, no nothing. If you take that number, now what I do in my case is the first three numbers. I don't look up usually because those are going to be the same because of the state you live in. But take the first three numbers and look them up. Just put in your search meaning of 528 or meaning of 634. Those three numbers. Look them up. And there are angel meaning of. You can put angel meaning of. And then it'll come up about what the angels mean. And you'll be surprised how many times, if a number keeps coming at you, that number will resonate, the message that you read will resonate with your life and what's going on in it and guide you. So that's one way that they do it. That's another way that they do it. The other way that hold on, I just looked at the thing. It says 11 minutes and 11 seconds. 11. So another thing that they will do is mirroring. All right? This is a hard one for us to learn from. And I might have to do this in 2 videos, the communication, because I think we're limiting these to about 15 minutes apiece. But mirroring, that's when, that can be done in a couple of different ways. The one that I think is the hardest for us to acknowledge is when we see somebody and what they're doing drives us absolutely nuts. Maybe the way they talk. Maybe the way they put things across. Maybe that they don't listen. Maybe we've got to keep repeating ourselves and they never hear it. Here's the tricky part. Kind of goes back to that first one I explained, if it keeps coming back at you. So maybe what you're seeing in somebody else being mirrored back at you is something that you don't see about yourself. Very, very easy to criticize other people. But how many times do you find yourself criticizing other people and then there's this little voice that says, you do it too. You do it too. So once you stop doing it, they'll stop doing it. It works amazing. Think about it. That's mirroring. All right? Now I'm going to end this video because we're pretty close to 13 minutes and I'd like the opportunity to say thank you. I'd also like to finally add, because I remembered to please subscribe if you can to my videos. If I have 1 viewer, I have 1 million. Because that 1 viewer that finds interest is going out and put in the vortex everything they learn here. And that vortex is reaching millions. And that's just for other people that think, oh, so-and-so's got, 2,000 viewers and I've only got 10. You've reached 10 people. You've reached 10 vortexes. And that's going to reach millions. So as I leave you today and I bless myself, I ask that you bless yourself. Or that your God, your soul, your Allah, your Buddha, whoever it is that you feel created to. Wherever you feel the energy, you get the power. I bless myself every day. And I want you to bless yourself with me if you would. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Until we meet again. Namaste.